Hello, welcome to this week's Influence Stories, and I am honored to have with us Miami-Dade County Commissioner Rebeca Sosa for District 6. Thank you so much for joining us, Commissioner.
No, the contrary. Thank you very much for having me. I'm honored to be with you. And this is an incredible opportunity to say hi to all the wonderful people that watch you every day.
Thank you so much. This is a great opportunity because we get to just talk, just have a nice chat and talk about some very important things happening in Miami-Dade County as we are progressing in our vaccination efforts and increasing every day what businesses are open and what businesses opportunities are out there. So I want you to talk to us and tell us what can the county do to help businesses get back to work now that we are so high up in vaccination in Miami-Dade County? I believe the last figure was 68% of Miami-Dade County residents have been vaccinated, which is a great number. So tell me, what is the county's focus as we try to come back from this pandemic that has hurt so many businesses and has affected so many lives?
Mira, during the pandemic, we were able to receive federal and state funding to be able to help businesses, people who lost their jobs, people who were unable to pay the rent, and it worked wonders. For example, let's go one by one. If you look at the airport, MIA is in a very high number of domestic flights today, meaning that they are working perfectly and the airport is already getting its self-sufficiency, so all the employees can work over there. You have the community, and one of the things that we are facing right now after the pandemic is not over, and we need to have that in mind. The pandemic is still there. That we have 68% of the people in Miami-Dade County vaccinated, that's not enough. Remember, we have a lot of visitors in this county. We have children in the family who are doing sports and everything. One thing that we have learned is that some people who are fully vaccinated can get the virus again. But it's not, thank God, in general terms, as bad as if you're not vaccinated. People feel like a cold and things like that. Not everybody, but in general terms. The risk of no vaccine is bigger than the risk of vaccine because you don't know. Young people have gotten the virus and some of them are today in wheelchair and some of them today have secondary effects, meaning that we need to let the community know, don't stop because this is not over. But at the second time, now businesses, we saw that some businesses at the beginning had to close. Some of them are reopened. Now businesses are facing a problem. And you know what the problem is, Helena? They cannot find people to work.
That's right.
If you look at all the job employments, all the opportunities that are in government, in hotels, in restaurants, everywhere. Even we saw yesterday that American Airlines had to cancel some flights because they don't have enough people working. And they are desperate trying to get people to work with them. So that is one thing that we're facing now because, for example, the homebound meals are going to stop. I think it's July the 1st. But each city received state funding for the senior centers. They can decide if they continue sending the food to the ones that were part of the senior centers or if they open the doors with caution and taking care of everybody. But everybody's trying to go back to normality. And now that the check that was helping families before is not there, I encourage people to find good jobs. Some of them are even paying bonuses if you decide to go. Hospitals are desperate for employees, all of them. So there are a lot of opportunities that can change the life of people, that can make you self-sufficient, and hoping that everybody thinks, okay, I'm going to be very cautious. I'm going to take care of myself. I got the vaccine. I use my mask when I go out, but it's not only for me, it's for the others that I have to make sure that I protect.
correct? And talking about jobs and our wonderful tourism industry, you have been a strong advocate for getting cruises back out into the ocean, our port, and getting that industry moving. Tell us a little bit about that situation.
I'm going to tell you that today there was an event at the port that all the cruise lines were present, and a lot of people of the unions who depend on their jobs on the cruise lines too. It was in an open space. Just to give you an idea, there are around 40,000 people, residents of Miami-Dade County, who depend on the cruise lines one way or the other. Okay, they started with test cruises with their own crew members, their own employees, not the public yet. But that is going to start very soon. Europe already started before us. The problem that we have is that countries have very strong rules for cruising. They are demanding the vaccine for those who go on a cruise. They are demanding that if you're walking inside the ship, you have to wear the mask. If you go with a group, it's perfect to be together, no problem at all. But not many groups getting together because you don't know from where they come. Remember, when people come for cruising, it's not only the residents of Miami-Dade County that they need to go with their family to have a good time. It's people from every country that they fly over here and then they take the cruise. So at this point, there is a concern when they cannot set their own safety rules for everyone. And then if you stop, for example, in the Bahamas, in St. Martin, in any country, they require the vaccine card and they require a specific safety guidelines to go down. Some countries even require the COVID test before they can go down. So it's going to be very hard for the cruise lines, to the ones in Florida, because Florida, I believe, is the only state that have the rules that they don't want to allow them to set rules. But there are a lot of people that are willing to cruise, but they say if they don't have rules, I don't want to expose my family at this point. And there are a lot who didn't get the vaccine, that they might not believe in something like that, that are very happy. But that's where the scary situation might come. I hope that with the CDC, we have to thank the governor at the beginning when he started the lawsuit, that the CDC reacted and was able to give them guidelines to follow. Now what we hope is that everybody joins forces in realizing that the only way we can do cruises safely is with specific guidelines. Because you go on a plane, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, maybe you can go down and until 5 or 6 days after, you don't realize if you have the COVID. But when you go on a cruise, it's more time, you're eating, you're sleeping, you're walking around, you are with a lot of people. So that is the biggest concern. We don't want the cruise lines to start without guidelines and to have to stop the industry again, because they have lost a lot. And at the same time, the people who were working for them are not going to receive assistance anymore.
That's very important to point out. But the cruise industry has been hit so hard. And now that we're returning, a lot of this assistance will no longer be there. I want to point out that I am scrolling all of your social media so that people who are hearing this either right now on Thursday or later can follow you on your social media and find out all this information as well. And I'm going to post to the website so people can visit and get information about the issues that we talked about today. Now, I also know that you are in a lot about, which I just about vaccines in the district. So I understand that you secured additional funding for childcare and medical offices in your district.
Yes, and it was thanks not to me. That's not my game. That was that when the GOB question went to the ballot, I decided to analyze the needs in my district. And I highlighted every need. I highlighted the need for elderly buildings, the need for recreational facilities for the young people and for the senior centers. highlighted the need for a Jackson in our district because there's no Jackson near my district or my colleague's district. Commissioner Soto doesn't have, so it's next to me. So was very important. I also highlighted funding for a center that we work together with Mr. De Lucas for the children with Down syndrome. And now the last one that I'm working on is a daycare facility for children with autism that cannot continue in school and they cannot work. So they can have a place to go during the day so their parents can continue working and taking care of them. But Jackson for me is very important. So the public voted yes, and I honor the vote of the public in giving the amount that was highlighted everywhere for that. We have been able to build buildings for the seniors, recreation centers for the senior, recreation centers in parks for the children and the seniors. One in Hialeah, a building in Hialeah, a recreation center with theater and everything in Miami Springs. In the city of Miami, 3 of them. In the city of Miami, 1 of them. In the unincorporated area for traffic, for everything. So we have been we have delivered what the public asked for. And now we're gonna have a Jackson Center for emergency with offices for doctors on 8th Street between 37th Avenue and Ponce de Leon.
That's amazing. Great location. We are big fans of Jackson and Influence Communications, big fans. So that is fantastic, fantastic news. I also wanted to ask about something very important that people have been following very closely, which is the rental assistance. If there's rental assistance aid coming to the county during these difficult times, I believe you just opened up. Is that correct?
You're talking about the rent.
Yes, this is a different rental assistance for tenants.
Okay, we have provided to them, and remember that each commissioner also have on a yearly basis what is called the mom and pop grants.
Those are fantastic. Let's talk about that too.
And those small businesses that they can prove that they have the amount of employees that are required, they can get funding for new things to improve their businesses, for physical things, for payment of rent, electricity, improvements, so they can have more security in what they do. And that happens every year. And my staff is incredible in guiding everyone, getting together with everyone. And then I don't select the people who win myself. I have a group of residents, they review, they recommend, and then we give them in order to be fair with everyone.
That's exactly right. So small business help or renters that need this help right now. I have a link right here that has the link that goes straight to Commissioner Sosa's office, and you can take a look. And I will also be posting a phone number and an email shortly for anybody that needs to contact the office and get information. Now, remember, if you're going to apply for mom and pop and for rental assistance, you have to do within District 6. Go to each office, right? So everybody has to apply to the different commissioner.
And the different commissioner's office. Helena, if you allow me, I would like to share something with you.
Of course.
And a big warning to the seniors in our community. We have seen that with this pandemic, it has increased. Residents who are seniors, retirees who lost part of their family, they are living alone. Some people get close to them, pretend to be friends, move in to take care of them and to care for the person. And then we are discovering that they are taking advantage of that, get all the information from seniors. And then what happens is that they lose everything. So open your eyes, those who have seniors living alone, if it's a son, a daughter, a cousin, whoever, please keep your eyes very open of that, because we are facing some problems in our community and we want to prevent that. Those who hear me and live alone, don't give your private information to anyone without asking your family, or if you need to ask the police, ask the police, but protect yourself.
It's sad that you have to point that out. But let me ask you, has your office received complaints about this?
Yes, and then we send it to the people who are ready to help them. We call the police conduct investigations, and from there they go to the state attorney. And the state attorney, Kathy Fernandez-Rondo, has been very good in helping with that. Another thing that we have seen in an incredible domestic violence that it has increased with the pandemic. Don't be afraid. There are many programs that can protect you and can protect your family, and we are all ready to help.
That is incredible, the way people would take advantage. Thank you so much for pointing that out. And on that note, I do have your phone number and an email for people to contact your office. If anything of this nature, they can call your office, send an email. Por supuesto, también hablan español.
Yes, yes, everyone knows.
Si puedes repetir esa información de nuevo en español.
Con mucho gusto. Una de las cosas más importantes que estamos viendo es personas que se han quedado solas, que han pasado al cielo, miembros de su familia, hombres que han quedado viudos, esposas, y que los hijos viven lejos. Alguien se le acerca, se pasa por amigo, me voy a mudar a tu casa para poderte cuidar, y entonces empiezan a coger todas las informaciones personales y cuando venimos a ver, le han robado casi todo. No confíen en nadie sin contar con un miembro de su familia. Y si no lo tiene, llama a la policía y pregúntenle. Ellos lo guían correctamente. En mi oficina estamos para servir. Y aquellos casos de abuso doméstico, que lo hemos visto crecer en un número impresionante, no tenga miedo. Sencillamente tenemos muchos programas para ayudarlos, para proteger a usted y a su familia. Nunca tenga miedo. Mi oficina está para servir. Habrán cosas que podamos solucionar, otras que no las podamos solucionar porque no esté en nuestra jurisdicción, en nuestra mano, pero lo que sí usted siempre va a recibir es la respuesta correcta. Si podemos ayudar, usted va a recibir la ayuda. Si no podemos, se lo vamos a decir claramente, sin mentirle.
Y seguro que sí lo van a poder ayudar o referirlo al departamento. Donde
lo ponemos en contacto con el departamento correcto para que esas personas sigan trabajando con ellos. Ese es nuestro trabajo diario. Y es un placer porque mira, Helena, si nosotros podemos ayudar, aunque sea a una persona cada día, ya eso es una bendición.
Sosa, yo sé que eso es que ella siempre está pendiente de todo lo que está pasando en su distrito. Thank you so much for your time. I know things are very busy in the county, and I very much thank you for your time, and we will invite you back shortly to continue talking about these important issues.
Blessing you and your family, and thank you for this opportunity because getting in touch with the public after this pandemic when you cannot see each other easily every day is wonderful. We are here and I am blessed, and I want to thank all the residents of my district for the trust they place in me. My term expires next year, but from now until the end of my term, I promise you that I'm here to help. Thank you,
so much for your time. And thank you for everyone that joined us. Please share this important. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.